The idea here is that your motivation is sound, but what's the impact? And I think a lot of people out there, fans of yours, people who love you, people who are fans of you, like me, I've been fans of you.
You don't have to patronize me, dude.
Okay.
I don't know you. I never met you.
I'm saying that this comes
Not
from a place
everybody
of
has to like it.
all I'm
That's
saying
what we
is,
said. There were people who didn't want it to happen at all. You sound like one of them.
no. But
I don't
wanted it.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Like, what is the alternative to not talking? Just sit at your lunch table and don't talk to anybody. I said in the piece I did not think that was going to happen.
In that case, then go.
I love the people on either side who ignore the parts they don't like and then just, and I just did it. It wasn't like it was 3 weeks ago.
As if in response to Bill Maher's recent dinner with Donald Trump, the lefty blogosphere went into overdrive. Keyboard activists, Democrats, and woke watchdogs essentially pleaded with the mayor to stay at least 100 feet away from anything related to the White House. The mayor invited one of these pearl-clutching critics to his show a few days later, and the visitor promptly chastised him for having the audacity to eat supper with the so-called devil. But he didn't just sit there and take it because he was mayor. He responded with a forceful and unambiguous clapback, reminding his audience and his guest that America is still the land of the free home of the First Amendment, which, yes, includes the option to eat dinner with Donald Trump if you so like.
Wanted to report exactly what I saw. I did it to the best of my abilities.
Counterpoint?
Yes.
Counterpoint?
Yeah.
You know, Bill, I think you're right in saying that people have made too much of this, okay? It's not the Ulta Summit. You're not Churchill. Kid Rock is not Stalin. Isn't FDR, okay? So, yes, I believe too much has been made about this, but I think you've fallen into the trap. I think I represent 99% of the internet when I say this, is that you've played the game of proximity is principle. And what people are worried about is not your motivation. We believe you. We love you, Bill. Everybody loves Bill, right?
All right, so allow me to take a moment to clarify. You are aware of how these stickers operate. They first put you at ease by feigning admiration, and then they take it personally. This is precisely what took place. The mayor saw it coming and called him out before the trap was even fully sprung, despite the fact that the man begins by praising Bill Maher and spreading false information. Let's bear this humiliating procession of adoration for the time being, but we'll get to that wonderful takedown soon. No, I'm just uneasy. I'm not doubting your intentions.
Questioning your motivation. I'm questioning Trump's, okay? And if we can say that you went there in good faith, but maybe, just maybe, he wasn't there in good faith. I mean, you sold him on the Iran deal and he took it in. I mean, give me a break, okay? So the idea here is that your motivation is sound, but what's the impact? And I think a lot of people out there, fans of yours, people who love you, people who are fans of you, like me, I've been fans of you.
You don't have to patronize me, dude.
Okay.
I don't know you. I never met you.
I'm just saying that this comes from
Not
a place
everybody
of
has to like it.
all I'm
That's
saying
what we
is,
said. There are people who didn't want it to happen at all. You sound like one of them.
no.
I'm not wanted it. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Like, what is the alternative to not talking? Just sit at your lunch table and don't talk to anybody.
This right here is exactly why I love Bill Maher, his built-in hypocrisy. Radar is sharper than ever, and he never hesitates to call out BS when he sees it. By this point in the conversation, you could tell Maher was visibly done with the guy's hollow, over-the-top praise. It wasn't genuine admiration, it was a setup, and Maher wasn't having any of it. Look, it's totally fine if you don't like that. Maher had dinner with Trump. That's valid, kind of like, not everyone liking pineapple on pizza. We all get to have our preferences. But what's not okay is pretending to cheer someone on just to line up a sanctimonious takedown. 2 seconds later. That's not disagreement, that's performance art, with a heavy side of smug. The guest could have just said what he really thought up front. But no. He had prefaced it with a fake standing ovation, hoping it would soften the blow. Maher saw right through it. And as always, he did what he does best. Stripped away the gloss on the guy's moral grandstanding, and showed the audience exactly what was underneath a calculated, insincere attempt to scold while pretending to be a fan.
You go on social media for 5 minutes now. You just have these tribal fury raging all day long. Everyone's got to be implacably there, implacably here. Actually, most Americans and most Brits, they're not like that. So there's this screaming going on between these tribes. Actually, walking across across that line, sitting down, having dinner, having a laugh, having a chat, and then the idea that Bill Maher is now going to stop criticizing Donald Trump.
I didn't know what
with it.
Piers Morgan had to step in and call out the escalating left-wing frenzy, since it appears that merely denouncing Maher for dining with Trump is no longer enough. According to the bizarre story, Trump miraculously transformed Maher into a complete Naga disciple by hypnotizing him over appetizers. Ma suddenly sided with Trump and has pledged never to criticize him again. To put it plainly, that is completely ridiculous. Ma has repeatedly claimed that he is done joining the cult of outrage that continuously criticizes Trump on trivial matters, but he never said he would refrain from criticizing Trump. The left formerly recognized the distinction between intelligent criticism and political fury. But these days, if you simply attempt to speak politely with Trump without spitting in his face, you are labeled a traitor. Ma has always been an independent thinker, and controversy won't make him change that. He isn't playing that game. It's almost essential to feel sorry for the poor guy at this point because he appears to be absolutely confused, as like he accidentally turned up at the wrong party and realized too late that it wasn't a costume affair. His face conveys that he was unprepared for this, not for Bill Maher's caustic comments, and certainly not for Piers Morgan's unannounced verbal altercation. He thought he would enter the studio, make a pompous speech about his moral superiority as school mayor, and then walk out with a nice little chip on his shoulder. But reality had other plans. He arrived with rehashed talking points and the presumption that Maher would yield to progressive pressure, rather than being ready for a genuine debate. This was a huge error because Piers Morgan was rooting for Maher, who does more than just spar. He dissects. I had no chance against him. It was a full-on broadcast reckoning, not simply a takedown, but Maher wasn't finished yet.
It's going to be changed by...
I said in the piece I did not think that was going to happen.
In that case, then go...
I love the people on either side who ignore the parts they don't like and then just... And I just did it. It wasn't like it was 3 weeks ago. I mean, watch it again. We're going to find something new.
Although, Bill, I don't know what the hell you said to him at dinner, but all hell broke loose within about 3 days of that dinner. Were you giving him economic advice in there? Or?
He was doing the tariffs well.
Bill Maher is no stranger to pointing out nonsense with surgical accuracy. We've seen him take down a number of woke guests in the past. This time, though, M maintained his composure and using wit and sarcasm rather than raising his voice. What started out as a disagreement swiftly evolved into a carefully thought-out ambush. Maher wasn't having it today, despite the guests' apparent plan to score points, corner the mayor, and leave with some sort of ideological prize. With the arrogant disdain directed at him, you could see the mounting frustration, the incredulity, and the plain tiredness. There's only so much Fox intellectual posturing one man can take, and this guy was pushing the envelope to the breaking point before dismembering his guest, so when Maher finally retaliated, it wasn't petty. Listen to Maher's reaction to the roused crowd that was chasing him to join the president for dinner.
As you know, 12 days ago I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief. There's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a fucking comedian. I think the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute.